everybody, how's it going? It's Metal War God here, and I have a new episode called The Vinyl Hunter, and this is part 1, show 1, and I already did part 2. I had to redo this one because of some copyrighted material, so which sucks, but I know. So anyway, I'm redoing this, and anyway, let's get started. These are some finds I've been getting over the last couple weeks at used vinyl shops, and I'm going to start out with a band called Blue Steel. And you got No More Lonely Nights, and that is from 1979, some Southern rock. Killer Stuff, Still Sealed, which is very nice. Just got a little cutout here in the corner, which is not bad. Anyway, Blue Steel. Up next, band called Rabbit and their album called Tracks. I believe this is their second album. First one is a lot more heavier than this one. This is more AOR-ish, a little more mellower, but still nonetheless, if you're into Rabbit, check them out. Of course, this one came out in 1982 on MCA Records. And here is Rabbit, spelled with a W, and the album called Tracks. Up next, some more Southern rock from a guy called the Henry Paul Band and Feel the Heat. This came out on Atlantic Records in 1980, and of course, if you've not heard of Henry Paul, check him out. Great stuff. I believe Henry Paul at one time was in the Outlaws, if I'm not mistaken. Formed this band, his own band, and then later went into the country scene and formed the band Blackhawk. But still, this is some great stuff. Anyway, some Henry Paul Band with Feel the Heat. Up next, just love this gal. I mean, great vocals, great pipes for a pint-sized woman. And I'm talking about Ruby Starr with her second album called Scene Stealer. And this is from 1976 on Capitol Records. If you're not familiar with Ruby Starr, she sang with Jim Dandy in Black Oak, Arkansas on, I'm trying to think of the song, Go Jim Dandy, Go Jim Dandy, Go. She did the vocal harmonies on that. And anyway, her second album was Scene Stealer with Ruby Starr. First one is Ruby Starr and Grey Ghost. This is just Ruby Starr. Check it out. Good stuff. Up next, a surprise. I was really actually surprised finding this. Don't see it very often. Blood Rock 3 from 1971 on EMI, Capitol Records, and killer stuff. And if you have not heard Blood Rock, do so. Great 70s rock, late 60s, early 70s, killer stuff. Up next, trying to fill a void with Nugent. Got a bad corner, which sucks, but the vinyl is in great condition. And great album, great guitar work on this, and not one of his most popular among Ted Nugent fans, but I like it. I think it's a great album. It's on Atlantic Records. Of course, this came out in 1982, and anyway, here is Nugent. And of course, we got some more. Ted Nugent was Scream Dream featuring Wango Tango from 1980 on CBS Records. Cover's in great shape, vinyl's in great shape. But anyway, some Uncle Ted with Wango Tango. And some Aerosmith, Done with Dreams on Geffen Records. I believe this came out in 1982. And cover's in pretty good shape. The only thing I have is a little writing here, which sucks, but you really can't see it. But anyway, some Aerosmith. Done with years. Trying to fill holes in that collection too. I had them all at once. Sold the album collections years ago. Slowly getting it all back. And this is one of them. Up next, In the Cloggin with Bump of the Night from, I believe this is 1981 on, let's see, what is it? Let's see. Hologram Records. Of course, if you're not familiar with Ian Cloggin, used to be in Faces, so check it out. And another Ian McLaughlin. It's hard to pronounce. Anyway, with Troublemaker. Of course, this came out in 1979. And also has Ron Wood on vocals, Keith Richards on guitars, Ringo Starr on drums, Stanley Clarke on bass. Just a whole lot of good musicians on this album. Check it out. Ian McLaughlin with Troublemaker. Up next, some Kansas that I'm slowly acquiring back into the collection as well. And of course, the classic album, Mask. Favorite song, The Pinnacle on this one. This came out in 1975 on CBS Records. Great album, one of my favorites. And then up next is Kansas with Power, which came out in 1986. Not in all original members, but close to it. It has Steve Morse on guitars on this one. And has that familiar logo on it. Anyway, Kansas with Power in 86. Up next, not a favorite among Kansas fans, but still nonetheless something you got to have in the collection if you're a Kansas fan. And I'm talking about Drastic Measures from 1983. And this is on CBS. Great cover. The cover is in immaculate condition. Can't believe I actually ran across this. Of course, I love when you get the UPC code here, also available on cassette. So you don't see that anymore. But anyway, Kansas Drastic Measures. Up next, some more Kansas with Two for the Show live album from, I believe this is 1980. Oh man, I'm gonna mess this one up. 1978, sorry. 1978 this came out. Of course, this is a gatefold. Double live album, recorded live in concert on Kirshner label. So anyway, Kansas, Two for the Show. Last Kansas I picked up here was Kansas Monolith from 1979. Also a gatefold. This has People of the South Wind, one of their better tracks on here, gatefold. Great album. Of course, you gotta love Kansas. Great prog rock from the 70s. One of the first to do it. So here you go from 1979, Kansas Monolith. Up next, some John Cougar Mellencamp with Rockin' USA single. And this comes from the LP Scarecrow. And it has Rockin' USA and Under the Boardwalk, which was not available. And this is on the Riva record label. I'll show you here, Riva. And cover's in great shape. I don't know why you want to get rid of this. But anyway, John Cougar Mellencamp. Another John Cougar limited edition promo. 2-record set. And this is a limited edition. Of course, this is also on Riva. And of course, this has a Hold On, Hand to Hold On To, Thundering Hearts, I Need a Lover, Small Paradise. I ain't even done with the night, but don't see this very, very often, so I picked it up. I like most Cougar, so good stuff here. Up next, some Tom Petty live and the Heartbreakers with Pack Up the Plantation live from 1985, gatefold edition. I love Tom Petty. I have most of his stuff, so I had to pick this up again. And anyway, here is Tom Petty live, Pack Up the Plantation. Up next, some Bad Company with Straight Shooter from 1974, and I believe their second album. And of course, You got Good Lovin' Gone Bad, Feel Like Making Love, Shooting Star, Deal with the Preacher, and Anna. So anyway, here's some Bad Company with Straight Shooter. Up next, some Cheap Trick with Dream Please. Came out in 1979 on CBS, or the Epic record label, Gatefold Edition. And of course, you got the Dream Please, which I'm sure everybody knows. And so it's got some good material on this. I love early Cheap Trick. In Color, Dream Police, Lava Budokan. Anyway, this is some good stuff here. Up next, some Rush with Power Windows from 1985 on Polygram Records. Again, acquiring most of the Rush back on vinyl, and this is one I did not have. So, of course, Big Money is probably the big hit that you should be familiar with. And anyway, here's Rush with Power Windows. Up next, when I made the first one of this and it was, I couldn't show it, I made a mistake. I called it the Kinks. This is the Animals with Animalization. And I could not find a date on this. I'm guessing it's going to be probably 68, 69 in there, maybe even 67. And of course it has CC Rider, Sweet Little 16, Don't Bring Me Down, and good stuff from the Animals here. Cover's in great shape for how old it is. And so anyway, here's the Animals with Animalization. And that is all I have for the Vinyl 100 Part 1, Show 1. And I hope you enjoyed what I had to show you. Check out Part 2, which has already been posted, and I had to redo this. So anyway, as always, keep it loud, keep it heavy, keep it metal, and I will see you next time on the Vinyl Hunter. Take care, everybody, and good night.